Out there, whether to bring in police or to take away people who've been arrested, we're not sure. A short while ago, we saw an excavator hook up a heavy chain to a truck and tow it out backwards. It was not a regular towing vehicle, but clearly the authorities were using whatever they had at hand to get those last few trucks out of there. And if we can just ask our cameraman Chris to take a look here, we'll look down Kent Street and I'll show you how much this street has changed over the course of the day. You can see there some Jersey barriers. Beyond that, as of this morning, there were nothing but trucks for at least 5 blocks. And not only trucks, but RVs, tents, campers. This is where a couple of days ago people were roasting a pig, in fact, just about 3 blocks from here on Kent Street. But today, early on, we started to see, as trucks pulled out, the Kent Street encampment also started to clear. Truckers began to dismantle some of the snow barriers that they themselves had put up and their supporters had put up in order to be able to back their trucks up out of there. And as you can see now, Kent Street completely clear. Another street that had a sort of a secondary occupation of big rigs was Metcalfe, and the same thing has happened there. The big rigs were the first to go in most of these places. The people who had the most valuable trucks appeared to be the ones who were in the biggest hurry to leave. And then after them, other supporters, people with pickups, people with campers, began to decamp as well. And now at the end of the day, we're seeing those streets almost completely clear.
Now, that said, this operation is far from over. Any indication whatsoever, Evan, as to how long this may go on for?
Well, there are still hundreds of people in the streets, and just a block from here, these officers from the Durham Force are really not facing any opposition at the moment, but there's another line of police just a block away, RCMP, we believe, who have a very large crowd in front of them of probably 400 or 500 people shouting, and there's no pushing or shoving, or at least there wasn't when we were there a few minutes ago, but certainly there are still a crowd. But it's consolidating in that one location, and the rest of downtown doesn't seem to have crowds of that size. So that gives us the impression that there are fewer people. And night's falling, it's getting colder, the crowd knows there's been a lot of arrests. The big vehicles are gone, so this is not over, but it does appear to be entering into a kind of a mopping up stage at this point. At a certain point this evening, I would imagine a lot of people are going to start to clear the streets, and one of the differences we're going to see is that they won't be able to sleep in those trucks, campers, and RVs because they're just not here anymore. And it's not only here in the downtown area. There was another encampment in a construction site just across the Ottawa River on the Quebec side called Zibi. That also is completely